Baconsthorpe, a small village in the heart of the North Norfolk countryside. Now recognisable for its water tower, which dominates the landscape. It was once part of the thriving wool trade with a large estate and a prestigious building known as Baconsthorpe Castle. The ruins you can see today are just a small reminder of the impressive buildings which once stood here. The castle was actually just a fortified manor house and is intimately linked with the dramatic rise and fall of one family, the Haydens, who lived here for 200 years.
The Haydens were an ambitious family, making their fortunes through the law profession. John Hayden was a prominent supporter of the first Duke of Suffolk, William de la Pole. During the War of the Roses, John often switched political allegiances to serve his own purposes. Although he became very wealthy, he made many enemies and was known to be crafty and quarrelsome. His position meant he needed a secure base to operate from. The castle was built in the 15th century by John and his son Sir Henry Hayden. The building became increasingly larger and more elaborate as the family grew wealthier. Sir Henry was the first member of the Hayden family to receive a knighthood, and he held several positions of great responsibility, allowing his successors to be peaceful, prosperous landlords.
The Hayden success, however, was short-lived. As the later generations accumulated large debts, the family were forced to demolish areas of the castle to sell as building materials. It is believed that some of these building materials went into the building of Felbrigg Hall. The castle itself is surrounded by a moat and was originally accessed by a drawbridge. The moat was later widened and a lake was added as part of the castle's extensive gardens. The entrance to the castle was via the inner gatehouse. This heavily fortified building was an important symbol of John Hayden's lordship. On the ground floor, the gatehouse had 2 rooms, housing a porter and a chief servant. Upstairs would have been a spacious suite of chambers for the lord and his family. The area directly above the entrance could have been a private chapel. Inside the castle is a large area of open courtyard. In the 16th century, this would have been divided up by the large buildings which formed the main house. To the west of the gatehouse was the Great Chamber, where the lord and his family had their meals in private. Underneath the Great Chamber was the basement, which was also the main point of defence for the castle. The slip windows are all that remain. Along the western wall are several turrets. These are the remains of the lodging chambers for the lord's guests. Each chamber contained its own latrine, an early form of toilet. In the eastern section of the courtyard was the service court. This would have contained a bakehouse and a brewhouse.